Okay, so now we're back to the gizmo again, and we're going to look at activity A. And it says to get the gizmo ready. So go back into the gizmo itself, and it says to set the background. Okay, so we're setting red to 100, and I just found out that you can change it in here, which makes it a little bit easier. You can change it in there. Okay, so we have 100, 255, and blue is 10. All right, so notice that we're changing the background color, just the background color. We're not changing the color of the beetles at all, okay? It's just the background color. Think back to what the introduction was to this unit, right? The brown lizard on the white rock and the brown lizard on the brown lizard on the brown rock and the white lizard on the brown rock. Okay, so seeing what the color of the organisms compared what to their environment, how does that change their average fitness, right? So how does that improve their likelihood of surviving, right? So if we look at this, it says introduction. In organisms, traits or characteristics are controlled by genes. Genes are located on rod-like structures called chromosomes. Different versions of genes that code for the same thing are called alleles. In this gizmo, there are 3 genes on each chromosome. For each gene, there are 8 possible alleles: white, red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Okay? Don't let this throw you for a loop. Okay. When we did it in class, we were looking at things that only had 2 alleles, right? We were looking at blue eyes and brown eyes. And somebody always asks, so what about green eyes, or people that have like gray eyes, or people that have almost like goldish color eyes? It's because there are multiple alleles. We stick with 2 just to make it easier. Okay. And it's not the only thing that has multiple alleles in human beings. Skin color has many different genes and different alleles that go with that, that's why we have that wide variety of skin tones, even within a family. And another one is blood, right? So blood has different alleles as well, right? So let's look at this structure right here in the upper right-hand side. So this is a pair of chromosomes, right? Got one from the mama, one from the daddy. We don't know which one gave what. It doesn't even matter, but you know that you get half of your DNA from your mom, half of your DNA from your dad, because this organism, like us, sexually reproduces. So you'll see that each one of these has 3 genes on it. And yes, in human beings, there are a lot more than 3 genes on a chromosome, hundreds and tens of thousands. And there are different alleles, okay? So this organism on this gene is WGB. This organism on this gene is GWW, okay? Now, we don't know what the color of that specific organism is at that point, but this is what we're going to do on this gizmo. We're going to mess around with the color of the background and see how does it affect the future generations of these organisms, right? Because you already know that if the organism exists, that it's going to reproduce. And if it survives because it usually has something the other organisms do not. Okay, so let's go on to the next part. So you are going to look at questions 1 and question 2. Okay, and what that is going in and checking on one specific organism. And so it's going to ask you to click on an organism. And these are all the same. It doesn't matter what organism you click on. Well, click on it, and lo and behold, you get a whole bunch of information down here in this block, right? So it gives you genotype. Genotype is what do the genes say? What does the allele say? Okay. And so in this case, this bug has 3 WWW and 3 WWW. Okay. You look up here and this tells you what does W stand for? Well, it's white. It's white. It's like a purebred, right? Okay. And then the phenotype is this color combination. Now the fitness is 50%, which means that 50% of those are going to live to reproduce. Okay. Now, you can go ahead and do 1 and 2, and you're going to get the information right from here. And then we're going to come back, and then we're going to look to see how we're going to start working with the simulation speed. We're going to go through multiple generations of these organisms and seeing how they get affected. Thank you.